Mesa Redonda.
Round Table.
Con temas de tu interés.
Empezamos ya con Mesa Redonda. Bienvenidos a Mesa Redonda, Lancaster, New York. Y bueno, ¿cuál es el tema que tenemos para hoy en nuestra Mesa Redonda?
Knowledge is power.
El conocimiento es poder.
Chicos, ¿ustedes están de acuerdo conmigo que la mejor decisión o inversión en nuestras vidas es educarnos? I think so, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Y es la manera como podemos crecer y desarrollar nuestra capacidad intelectual y nuestro carácter como persona.
We serve in the school district of Lancaster in pre-K through 12, and some grades beyond. We have 11,400 students.
Wow.
And we have 23 school buildings.
Oh, wow.
That's
a lot of kids.
A lot of kids, a lot of kids.
Right now we have 190 students, grades 6 through 12.
Wow, 190.
Sounds like a lot.
And you need to keep them all in line.
Yes, it's a challenge every day, but being a small school, it's an easy task to do, and I think that's why we're successful, because we are small.
Exactly.
Uh, 58%. 58%.
Wow. Más de medio.
Más de medio.
Buenas tardes. El 95% de nuestra matrícula son estudiantes hispanos, una variedad de estudiantes de Cuba, estudiantes de la República Dominicana y estudiantes de Puerto Rico. El otro 5% tenemos 2% afroamericanos y 3% europeos americanos.
So we look at graduation rates in two ways, and it's funny, interesting, because this morning I was looking at our graduation numbers for this year already. So we start early. We like to start in September, October, already looking at how many kids are not coming to school and how many are identified to graduate. So we have two graduations. We have 4-year graduation, those who start with us in 9th grade and graduate in 12th grade 4 years later. And then we have our 4+ year cohort, so students who may take an extra year to graduate.
Yes.
I have a question. How does that work?
So how does that work? So when they do cohorts, so for example, let's say you come to us on the first day of 9th grade, they count 4 years when you should graduate college, 9, 10, 11, and 12, and that's a 4-year cohort. Now, sometimes a student may take a 5th year, right? And that student doesn't count in the 4-year cohort. So for us in the school district of Lancaster, we have a very good over 4-year cohort. So we graduate 80% of our students in over 4 years. However, our 4-year cohort, that number is about 68, 69%. So you see that number dips when you're looking at students who graduate within 4 years.
Well, like I said earlier, we're a small school, and because of that, we really know our students individually. And a lot of the students come from our neighborhood, and we work with the families. And we've actually, the last year, we met our students at school. We met them at their house. We met with their families, and together we were able to graduate our largest class and pull some students in that weren't able to graduate earlier, and now they're graduated.
There are so many different reasons. We just ran a study in the school district that really wanted to identify who were our dropouts. So today I shared with you this morning, I looked at a number of how many students we had, and we identified, and then they have to give me a list of every single student who hasn't shown up to school. Our current number of students that we're looking for is about 141. So we have 141 students who haven't come to school or missed 10 more days this year.
¿Eso es lo que lleva del año?
Este año.
Oh, wow.
Desde el 1 de septiembre.
¿Y la escuela empezaron ya?
Empezaron casi
un
mes.
Yeah,
Sí, estamos en escuela
más de 10 días.
Más de 10 días.
¿Y qué nos puede decir a quienes estamos en middle school?
Those are middle and high school numbers. So the 140, so I'll say of The 141, about 30, como 30 estudiantes son de middle school.
Wow.
De 7 y 8 grados.
Los créditos se ofrecen solamente cuando tú estás en high school, ¿ok? En la elementaria y middle school lo que se puede ofrecer es mucha alternativa, el after school program, de escuela después de la escuela, antes de la escuela, tutoría, todo, individual, clases, tú sabes, individual, instrucción individual, todo eso forma parte para que los estudiantes no solamente vengan a la escuela, pero para que también puedan progresar y avanzar.
Y prepararse para el high school.
Exactamente.
So a lot of different reasons. We learned, really interesting. We created a profile for dropouts, and we used to think that there were students who misbehave. And believe it or not, when we looked at the number of dropouts, we even went back and pulled the report cards out for students that we couldn't find. They're not students who misbehave in school. We used to think maybe they were students who move around a lot, who are in different places. We learned only half of the students were students who moved around a lot. We used to think maybe they were students who had special needs, who had IEPs or were English language learners, who needed to learn English. Less than half of the students were English language learners. What we found is a majority of them, 73% were male, 73% boys. And we also found that many of them were, in terms of the profile, were the kid that sits in the back of the room quietly and kind of not engaged and misses more than 10 days of school throughout the course of the year. So that's why we really started to identify kids who miss more than 10 days and are starting to look for them.
Para responderte esta pregunta en azul, nosotros buscamos unas maneras bien creativas para traer a los estudiantes a la escuela. Nosotros hablamos con los estudiantes, ofrecimos una recuperación de crédito para traer a los estudiantes. Hablamos inclusive con la familia. Las familias fueron una de las ayudas más importantes dentro de este programa que nosotros tenemos para traer a los estudiantes para que regresen a la escuela. Y ofrecimos alternativas y opciones que realmente los ayudaron a todos ellos a tomar la decisión de venir a la escuela, participar y cooperar con nuestros servicios.
Tienen que estar ahí. I like to share with parents, be there.
The support.
Be there to support. And you don't have to know everything that's going on in the school. Just be there, meet the students' teachers, talk about school to your kids, know your kids' friends. I'm one of the first folks that, the kids may not like it, but if they have a Facebook account or something else, be all over that Facebook account, know who your students spending their time with before and after school, know how they get to school, and just ask questions. For students, if you have a question, ask the question. Like we shared, sit up front. If you don't understand something, don't let it get too far behind. Raise your hand and ask the teacher for help. And if you're not able to get help in the school, in the classroom, find it somewhere else in the school. Because we want to make sure that we're here to support you. And if you stop coming or you need extra help, we need to find a way to give that help to you.
I think the best thing that families can do out there is to make sure that your students are in school on time and ready to go. If you get them to school, that's the biggest battle that a lot of students have with Dropout is they just are late. They don't come on a regular basis.
They skip school.
Right. And if they're not in school, there's not much we can do as teachers and educators. So if as parents, we need your students to be in school. And the other thing is when the students are at home, that they have a set bedtime, that they're not up late, they turn off electronics, that they get a good night's sleep, that they're ready for school the next day.
Because
that's important.
The point is, if you go to sleep early, or if you go to sleep late, and then you go to school and you're sleeping in class, it's like you never even went that day.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
we have to have a bedtime.
Right.